Alright guys, what's up? Welcome back. I'm going to do an unboxing here of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the Collector's Edition. And this is an interesting Collector's Edition because at first I thought I got the wrong box. I thought it came yesterday. It came the 10th, I should say, which is yesterday. But if you take a look at the Odyssey Collector's Edition and the Origins Collector's Edition, the Origins was a massive Collector's Edition. The Odyssey box was even bigger than Origins. And this is the size of Assassin's Creed 2 almost, for the 360. It's an interesting, well, it's a little bit bigger than that. Maybe it's the size of Unity, but smaller and skinnier. We'll get into that in a second. A couple things. Number one, remember, there is a live stream happening tomorrow night. Let's say around 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I will be unboxing the PS5 live. I'll be hooking it up, show you what games I got with it, and what I will get when they release. There's a few that release next week. We'll set it up. We'll try to set it up on the TV in here, and then I will go and we'll check out some Assassin's Creed gameplay footage, because I did buy it for the PS5 and I will be playing it on the PS5, even though I have the Collector's Edition here for the PS4. But before we get into the Collector's Edition, I want to go over a game I just recently played. Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. Now, what do I have to say about this game? Let's start with the positives. The positives, graphically, this game is probably one of the prettiest games I've seen in my life. The colors are vibrant. They're just beautiful. The attention to detail here is fantastic. I mean, you'll be running around as Crash, and there'll be little, like, alive type little animals in each habitat that are literally just watching you run around. They interact with wherever you move, their eyes move. I mean, the attention to detail is great. Graphically, like I said, the game is beautiful. Storyline's a bit rough, but again, it's a Crash game, so, you know, I'm not going to complain about that. But here's where my main complaint comes. This has got to be one of the most unforgiving platformers I have ever played in my life. One of the most frustrating platformers I've ever played in my life. One of the hardest platformers I've ever played in my life. And unfortunately, I am not a genius when it comes to video games. I can't compete with some of these people who do playthroughs, like on World of Long Plays, or who I saw this one guy, he only has 3,900 subscribers, but 800,000 people watched his playthrough of this game. And by God, he is flawless. I mean, it's unbelievable what he was able to do. I have not beaten this. I am technically 2 levels away from beating it. If I want to play a side quest, I can. You can play as Neo Cortex in this game. You can play as Dingo Dial in this game. You can play as Tawna in this game. I'm sure you can play as Coco. I haven't tried to. Well, it says you can, but I haven't tried. But as far as these alternate timelines, that's pretty interesting. Basically, something will happen in the level, and you play as these playable characters on side missions that show you how what happened in that level came to be. So Crash will be running around getting chased from a dinosaur by a dinosaur, and all of a sudden, something will break and the dinosaur's trapped. And Crash looks around like, what? How did that happen? And you end up being Dingo Dial, as an example, who was also trying to run away from the T-Rex at the same time, and cause the wreckage, if you will. So those are interesting. These flashback tapes, okay? To be able to get a flashback tape and unlock it, you literally have to find the tape in the level without dying once. If you die once, you automatically can't even get it, which I found to be absolutely ridiculous. That's a bit much coming from a kid's platformer. And then inverted levels, I'm not going to even go into that. Basically, you play as Crash, you have to save the timeline, you have to There are 4 additional masks separate from Uka Uka, who's the evil one, and Aku Aku, who's the friendly one who teams up with Crash on his adventures. There's one that freezes time, which is probably my favorite mask. There's one that allows you to literally change the laws of gravity and climb and walk on the ceilings, which is very difficult to maneuver when you're dealing with laser beams. There's one that changes things that weren't there to, so if something's doesn't have mass, you can make it have mass now. So if this box has mass, but imagine if the box was see-through and didn't have mass. You put on this mask and you automatically can change the see-through box into the box that it is. And then there's one that allows you to double spin in the air and reflect or deal with enemies that shoot off this green substance against you. Those are the 4 masks. Well, there's a level called Cortex's Castle. And it is by far, and I got about an 85% of the way done with this level. And I died 265 times. And that's not an exaggeration. If you literally had looked at me playing, there's a counter at the top of the screen that shows how many times I've died. Every time I die, it goes up by 1. 265 times in this one level, not to mention all the other times I died playing the game the way it's played. I easily have died over 2,000 times in this game. Based on shoddy controls, based on platforming miscues, based on not being able to line up jumps perfectly. This game is unforgiving. And for a game that's geared at kids to an extent, and yes, there's nostalgia for people like myself who were young teenagers when the first game came out. I was 12 years old when Crash came out in '96. So there's definitely nostalgia for me. I played the 2 games on the Game Boy Advance, those 2 little adventures, and yes, there is a third, and Crash and Spyro star in their own game in each other's world. So Crash is in a game in Spyro's world, and Spyro's in a game in Crash's universe. And those were easy peasy, I beat them no problem. But the bottom line is this, I don't think I'll ever be able to beat it. Never have I been so frustrated and lost in a game than this one. The closest I can remember is for God of War, for the one that just came out for the PS4 a couple years ago, beating that last Valkyrie. I never thought I'd beat that last Valkyrie. That looks like Candyland, that Valkyrie, compared to the level in this game. I'm going to try to leave a link to that guy's video in the description so you guys can check out not only his channel. He doesn't even know I'm leaving a link. So not only can you check out his channel, but go to he has everything time-stamped. Go to Cortex's Castle and just take a look at that level, okay? Now, I cheated. I went and watched the rest of his video because I was so close to beating the game, and I wanted to see how more difficult Neo Cortex's last level was. And not only do you have to beat Cortex's Castle, but if you choose to play that side mission, you have to beat it again. I died 265 times, and I shut the PlayStation off. I played this game from 11 in the morning yesterday till 5 in the morning this morning. Thinking I thought I would have beaten this maybe by midnight. Nope, not even close. So, and don't get me started on the ending. The ending is, to play all this time, to have the ending that I saw, and he literally beat the game 100%. Collected every gem, collected every box, collected everything. So it's not like he just, sped through the game just to see the ending, and you have different endings depending. Because Crash games in the past were noted for their, different endings depending on how much of the collectibles you collected. If you just beat the game, you got an ending, but if you collected everything, you got the real ending, that sort of thing. So, I know I've rambled on about this. We're going to get to the Assassin's Creed unboxing right now. But guys and girls, I was so fried. Took every ounce in my being not to throw my PlayStation controller on the ground. Very rarely do games make me that upset. The Valkyrie and God of War did. Soul Calibur 6, one of the fights against Nightmare. One of the fights against Azazel. That made me go bananas. I think it was Azazel. the black dude, that made me break a controller. And it was probably the first controller I had broken since I was a teenager playing the Genesis. So, anyway, that's Crash for you. I haven't beaten it, and I take pride in being able to beat games that I play. This may go down as one of the games that I never end up beating, because there's no way, once I saw how he beat this, I don't have the skill to do it. I don't have the skill to do it. And not only that, the checkpoints in this level, some are so small, close together, and then others are 40 years apart. It's not for a guy who just wants to play the game, the fact that there's no easy mode, the fact that there's no beginner mode. Imagine a 7-year-old picking this up who's fairly decent at game. There's no way they're beating it. It took me 15 hours and 2,000 deaths just to get to the second to last level before I faced Cortex. Let alone a 10-year-old picking this up, forget it. So, that's my rant on Crash Bandicoot. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes of this video. So, here we go. This is carton number 10,902 of 13,499. There were of these made. So, let's go right on into this, and you'll see what there is to see, and you'll see the box. Now, the way this comes packaged, this is the top of it. So you get a little bag of what looks like a little goodies here. We'll take a look at that, and we'll take this plastic out, and there's the box. Collector's edition. I'll take it out in a minute. But that's it. That's how tall this thing is. If you go back to some of my video game pickup videos, you'll see the Odyssey and Origins collector's editions when I unbox those. But this is very small compared to those two, which alarmed me at first, because when I got this in the mail and I saw it said collector's edition, I'm thinking to myself, well, this is strange. Why is this so small? Because, again, I didn't think it was going to be like that. Okay, good. So there's the soundtrack on the back under the steelbook case. I was worried about that because from the way it looked, this is all it looked like I got, and then obviously there's the figurine. That's what's in the box itself. So let's take a look at this. Let's see if I can squeeze this out. Here we go. So here's the game. It's still sealed, obviously, and it probably will stay that way because I'm playing the PS5 version. But Ultimate Edition Steelbook, which includes Game, Season Pass, and Ultimate Pack. And then on the back here, it says, Become a Legendary Viking Raider. Ultimate Edition includes Season Pass, Ultimate Pack. You get the Berserker Longship Pack, the Berserker Gear Pack, the Berserker Settlement Pack, and Set of Runes. And it includes bonus mission, The Way of the Berserker. Now, I was debating on whether to get a Series X or not, because, again, it's the more powerful console between that and the PS5 as far as graphics go. But one of the reasons I held off is because Sony has the exclusives that I'll play. I don't play any Microsoft exclusives, and even though Bethesda was just purchased by Microsoft, it doesn't do anything for me because I don't play Elder Scrolls, I don't play any of that stuff. And when it comes to Assassin's Creed, for some reason, Ubisoft seems to always have a deal with Sony where they get certain missions, and if the Xbox version of that game gets that mission, it's usually years down the road before it gets added into the game. So I always stick with Sony when it comes to Assassin's Creeds. I found that out the hard way when playing the original Assassin's Creeds, which I played on my 360. Here's the soundtrack, selected game soundtrack. It is, you get 14 tracks, it looks like. Main theme, Kingdom of Wessex, the Sceptred Isle, or the Sceptred Isle. I can't pronounce that. The Words of the Raven, Out of the North, Holmgang, Asgard, Hall of the Aesir. Can't even pronounce that. Skull Crusher, Son of Fjord, Odin's Plunder, The Well of Word, The Tree of Life, The Guardian, and again, I can't pronounce that. Vihogr, Lust for Battle, Skaldic version. So, you get a CD, you get the game itself with the steelbook, and then let's see what's in this bag of goodies. And then we'll take a look at the box. We'll put this back in here. Oh, Lord. And supposedly, I was supposed to get some art prints and a collector's edition. Like, if you look at the Ubisoft website for the collector's edition, it shows that you get art prints, which I don't have here, and it shows that you get a collector's edition little piece of paper that says the number out of, you know, out of each thing. So here's the bag. It's a little, I assume it's a rune bag, R-U-N-E. So let's open this up a little bit. Let's twist this down. Let's zoom in a smidge. Let's see what we got. I don't want to wreck this. I can't open this because I'm an idiot. There we go. What do we got? Oh. A little, Ubisoft on the bottom there. A little, looks like a, I don't know who this is. Ivor? Is that who this is supposed to be? I have no idea. Viking. I haven't played the game yet, and again, I'll be playing it on the PS5. My goal was to beat Crash, get that out of the way in one day, rest up, and then get ready for Assassin's Creed tomorrow, the 12th, when I pick up the PS5 and everything else. But that did not go as planned because, again, Crash is unforgiving. I mean, unforgiving. One of the hardest platformers I've ever played. And for no reason. There's no reason it should be that difficult. I mean, none. So, we're going to smush this back in its little cubby hole. Which has a problem doing. There we go. Alright, so there's that. And then let's go, I'll show you guys the box here. Let's do one of these. Okay. Here we go, Collector's Edition. See it? Let's zoom out. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Collector's Edition. I like the color of the box, but this is a very small box. There's everything around. And then let's open her up. And you can see well, this is interesting. This is an empty case. But here's the this might be where the art print should have been. And I didn't get anything. Oh, wait a minute. They're here. Very, very tricky boxing that they did, but now I see them. Okay. So anyway, this is female Ivor. And then the male Ivor's on the back. No, it's just female Ivor. Okay. That's who it is. So there she is. Because again, you can play as either a female or a male. You get to choose your sex. And the interesting thing about this version is you can choose in Odyssey. If you chose Cassandra, you played as her the whole time. If you chose, I forget the guy's name, but if you chose him, you played as him the entire time. But apparently in this game, you can go back and forth between the sexes. Which, again, who knows? I haven't played the game yet, so maybe there's a reason for that. But anyway, that's that. You can see she's on a ship. I'm not going to unbox this because I like everything to be in its place. But you got some weapons here. You got an axe, it looks like. She's holding a shield, ready for battle. See the shield right there. So, and then these, I assume, are the art prints. Oh, and this is the thing I think that tells me what number I have. Collector's Edition 5172. There it is. That's cool. Okay, so everything did come. I'm happy now. I thought I got screwed for a minute. Alright, so Collector's Edition 5172. And then I don't know what this thing is. I don't want to break the seal of this, so I mean, let's take a look. You know what? Let's find out what we got. Okay. Let's see here. This thing, ooh, it's a little envelope. Oh, these are the art prints. Okay. So, I don't want to break anything here. Here we go. How beautiful does that look? And the Martin Dishambolt, he's one of the artists of the games. He's worked on all the games, I think, or majority of them. Yeah, I think he's the art director, if I'm not mistaken. We have this one. Wow. Donglu Yu. There you go. Donglu Yu. So there's 3 art prints. And then here it looks like the beach. Or the Arctic. I don't know what this is. And who did this one? Raphael Lacoste, yeah. Both of them, him and really all 3 of these guys. And the only reason I recognize the names of these artists is because I did a ASMR video, I attempted to a long time ago, of the art book for Unity, or for Odyssey, I think. And didn't come out too good, so I don't think I ever uploaded it, but or the editing got screwed up or something. So, all right, so there you have it. You got the art prints, you got the game itself, you got a little tchotchke, if you will, in that little pouch. And then you got the thing that says, I'm trying to put this back. There we go. Thank God. All right, good. So these are the art prints, and then this thing. Yeah, this just has a. This is. I like this. This is really, really nice. This is thick, paperboard, collector's edition, 5172. This is authentic. I like this a lot. So there you have it. Stick around. Remember, 7:30 tomorrow, or 8 o'clock tomorrow, excuse me, Eastern Standard Time. I will be doing a live stream of the PS5 unboxing, as well as the setup, and also attempting to start Assassin's Creed, so you guys can see how the visuals look, and everything else. But I am definitely excited about that. Alright, so we're going to put this back here, and I'll fix this in a second. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Providing that GameStop doesn't screw me, I will have my PS5. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you soon.